Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Whatculture. Whatculture,
Yeah,
G-O-T,
good.
do you get it?
Yeah.
Whatculture?
Like Whatculture?
Yes, but with got in it, which
I like
means
that.
Game of Thrones.
I
and
like
this
that.
is all about Game of Thrones, a weekly
Hey.
recap, round table. The table is, of course, square.
Yes.
I'm joined by Adam, fourth of his name, and Adam, first of his name. I introduced myself as Adam, third of his name in the Ups and Downs
that's very
video.
good.
It's the top-rated comment.
Wow.
Yes,
Very
yes,
good.
very good me.
It's a triage of Adam.
Yes, I'm hosting. Shut up. Each week we're going to be going through the latest episode, talking about the good bits, the bad bits, what we liked, theories, all sorts of nonsense.
Sure.
In broad strokes, start with you.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of Dragonstone?
I really liked it. I thought it was an excellent opening. I mean, they don't mess about. Obviously, we know that throughout Game of Thrones. There's no sort of getting to know you stage of each season. But the straight out the gate, fantastic opening scene with Arya.
Yeah.
And then,
Very much a dicks on the table opening.
yes.
Yes.
But there was parts of it, obviously, which was just sort of resetting season 6.
Reminding you everybody was, crucially.
And there's an obvious part that I'm sure we're going to get onto that really slightly ruined the episode.
Yeah, we will get to that.
not slightly.
In due course. I should point out at this point, there will be spoilers a go-go in this. So it's very much, if you've seen it, please don't be afraid of the stuff we're going to be talking about. If you haven't seen it, I would probably turn this
Yeah.
off.
Don't.
Should
What's the matter with
Completely
you?
the wrong order.
Yeah, why are you watching this if you've not seen it? Specifically, the dicks on the table moment. Would you like to talk us through the dicks on the table?
Yeah,
Now that we're in
absolutely.
spoiler territory.
Well, it's Arya is now a fully accomplished
Mass murderer.
mass murdering badass, as all the best badasses are in Game of Thrones. Just to give an idea of kind of what we're in for this series, we see an entire house being wiped out. An entire house. In the space of about 4 minutes,
yeah.
which is incredible. It's sort of like a lot like the rest of this episode in that all the pieces are in place. Like there are two big maps. It basically if this series is going to be war, this is very much the calm before the storm.
The calm is the phrase.
The calm
is-
gone.
Phrase
Yeah.
all dead, yes.
Arya is moving in on the queen. Everyone is sort of like she's fucking in Westeros. We'll get to that point though, I'm sure. But the first scene probably had more action than the rest of the episode combined.
Yes, I think that's fair to say.
Which I think is necessary because a lot of the episode is set up. A lot of the episode is there isn't a recap at the beginning of the episode because the entire episode is essentially that all the characters meet up, talk about what happened last series, and then talk about what they're going to do in series 7. They're basically just putting forward their kind of mission statements for what's going to happen. The Lannisters met up and chatted. Jon Snow reminded everyone at the wall what's going on. Him and Sansa are making plans. Everyone's making plans.
The episode's had a bit of criticism for just that, though. I think, obviously, with the hype of it coming back, you've seen all these, isn't Game of Thrones good? All the clips they show with the big moments and the shocking moments and the murders and the explosions and the deaths and all sorts. So, after all that hype, we're reintroduced with plot and dialogue and setup. And I think a lot of people found that disappointing. But would you say it was a typical first season episode?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can't have every single episode go 100 miles an hour because you need to have time to pause for breath.
I couldn't hack that.
Especially
personally.
coming back. Because we haven't seen these characters in a year.
I think one of the reasons why people may have moaned about the lack of action, perhaps, is the fact that we all know that we're going to get less and less episodes now per season, and you would have assumed that they would cram more stuff in. But, as you say, it was a first episode of a season, and they're not going to go hell for leather straight away if, as you say, it's leading to war, because they need to save that.
They are going to have to accelerate this all quite quickly.
Yes.
Because we've got 7 episodes left.
Well, the thing is, with the way the episode ended, there's really no more journeying time left.
We know where
now,
everybody is.
War begins. I mean, that's the whole point of the last line. Shall we begin? So yeah, essentially, you could say, maybe season 7 is beginning with episode 2, but it's not, because every single scene, one of the biggest strengths of Game of Thrones, everyone assumes the big strength of Game of Thrones is its plot. It's a constantly moving and constantly swerving plot, but it's not. It's the fact that the the showrunners are so skilled at TV that every single scene is informed by character, not plot. Characters making choices which then turn out to be plot, but even in this episode, every single character was clearly drawn. There is conflict between Jon and Sansa. There is conflict between Cersei and Jaime. The only kind of scene where there weren't people kind of at conflict, like differing with each other, was the last scene where there was no dialogue. Everyone's on the same page in that last
That
scene.
was such brave television, I thought, because, I mean, James put this in his review of it initially. You've got arguably the show's two best talkers in that scene, and it was entirely in silence, aside from the one line at the end, which is, I mean, that could have been really boring, but it was profound, it was powerful, it was spine-tingling.
Been waiting
almost
6 seasons to get to this point.
Everything she's done in the show has been for that exact moment to get to Westeros, and it was just like
putting the hand
in the sand. Again, that was another little quiet. It really annoyed me that Sky Atlantic released that scene on social media about 4 hours before the episode started.
Bastards!
Why? The entire bit. She gets off the boat, sand in her hand, and then walks onto the thing, and I was like, ooh, she's gonna get here. And it was the last bit, and because that was the last, arguably the most powerful point of the entire episode, I was like, I saw this at 11 o'clock. Oh well.
Oh well, never mind.
Never mind. Now, someone in the office who shall remain nameless, just on the subject of it being an underwhelming first episode, did say, if there's no tits and no blood, what am I watching?
Really?
Yes.
There was a bit of blood.
It was an entirely boobless episode.
Now,
there was some old man peen. Now, there was... If you had to be looking out for it, and I was. Folks.
Well done.
In the autopsy scene, you see a little bit of peen.
A little bit of peen.
With a little bit of Jim Broadbent as well.
Yeah.
Not Jim Broadbent's peen, though.
Not Jim Broadbent's peen.
Wait for that.
Crucially, spoilers, there is no Jim Broadbent
I've
peen.
read a lot of things you may have missed articles the last few days, and the peen has not snuck into anything. We should do our own now.
Little tiny stubby old man peen.
Oh, happens to the best of us.
Yeah, lying on his back,
especially when we die.
Popping at, looking at the sky like a little
Is this
earthworm.
your impression
like
of an old man peen?
It was like a Diglett. That's exactly what it was. It was a Diglett peen.
Diglett peen.
Hashtag Diglett peen.
But we're all in agreement that it was a good way to return. It didn't disappoint either of you, I take it.
Well, I'm a little bit kind of what you said, which is like, if we're getting fewer episodes, I would kind of like more. But I can't, like, the character writing is so strong, and there's tension throughout the entire episode. And it provides better context for the action.
Yeah.
And also, so I rewatched season 6 in the last few days to build up to this, and I think the thing is, at the end of
before
this,
you go on, how quickly did you watch season 6? Because I think people should know how impressive this is.
Oh, yes. So initially, this was before season 6. So I hadn't seen Game of Thrones until the start of season 6, or building up to the start of season 6. So I watched all the 5 seasons in a few months building up to it. And I watched the entirety of season 5 and the first episode of season 6 on the same day.
What the shut the front door.
Yeah. I wasn't busy before I came to
Are you okay? Yeah. I think that should profoundly affect a man.
But why I want to mention that is the fact that I think when you go back and watch the whole of season 7 now, when we have all the other episodes, this won't feel as empty because you can judge it in relation. You go, oh yeah, that's fair enough that they had a sort of set up rebuilding episode because of all the madness that comes after it. I think the difficulty is we build such high expectations for every single episode.
I do have a question for you, though, because you've just watched Series 6. How does the first episode of Series 6 compare to the first episode of Series 7?
It's different. It is very different, obviously, because of... when I rewatched it, I completely forgotten that. Oh yeah, at the start of season 6, Jon Snow's dead, of course.
Yes, that's right.
So I think there's a lot more tension in that, and what's going to happen now, and are they going to give us what we hope they're going to give us with bringing Jon Snow back, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And when's that going to happen?
I think that maybe there was just more immediate fallout to deal with, so it felt like the episode was more significant. Whereas the end of Series 6 is very much kind of, oh my god, all the pieces are in place. It's time for war. And Series 7 is pretty much, okay, actually the last few pieces just need to be...
And everyone's sort of in their little pockets at the start of season 7. At the start of season 6, you've got, the High Sparrow, you've got all these people that are still mucking around.
So there wasn't really anything to be resolved at the start of this episode, was it? We knew where everybody was.
Yeah.
Like, Jaime had just returned to King's Landing. That had all been dealt with.
She'd been crowned queen.
Yeah, they'd retaken Winterfell. Like, everything was season 6 actually wrapped it up quite nicely in terms of a season goes. So they're having to start from scratch effectively with stories now.
The cliffhanger was war is coming, and war hasn't come yet. And I can understand that being underwhelming for people. But when the quality of the writing is so good, I don't mind the dread and the tension that's building.
It's just if you're playing Risk or something, you're just moving the pieces to closer to the opposition and going, it's going to happen.
Because here's something I can understand a lot of people being frustrated with, is the whole episode is really supposed to be about rising dread, rising tension, and then something happens in about the middle towards the end of the episode that pretty much eradicates all the tension in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Which is a problem, especially when like the whole of the first episode is pretty much like, oh my God, war, war, war. What is he doing here?
Now, before we get on to Ed Sheeran, as I was going to, I'm sure that's who you're talking about. By the way.
Yeah.
Not the lad from This Is England.
No, it's Jorah Mormont. I f***ing hate him.
Just as we talk about the dread and the tension, how the episode felt very foreboding, did anybody think it was actually quite funny? Like,
the episode?
By comparative to regular Game of Thrones episodes, did you think it was a lot funnier than it normally is?
I wasn't expecting there to be quite as many turds, I will say.
Yep.
Yeah, the supercut of turd slop.
That did go on quite a bit, I thought.
But I thought it was quite whimsical.
It was a joke that just wouldn't flush.
Turd food wretch. That was the cycle.
But the people I was watching it with said, is this about to break into song? Because it was just like, it was starting to do like a...
Stomp. Stomp, but with the maesters.
Yeah. Stomp the maesters.
I'd watch that.
Stomp the maesters.
I'd watch Stomp the Maesters. Anyway, so you had that, which did go on a bit, but was still quite entertaining.
Yeah.
You had all the little quips between Euron and Cersei and Jaime, which I thought was brilliant. Two good hands. I can't trust you.
That was a great scene.
I
like
can't trust
Euron.
you. You killed
I
your
don't
brother.
like it.
You should try it. It feels great. cut to Jaime just going,
I'm a man with 1,000 ships and two good hands.
Then you had Brienne and what's his face's weird flirting at
Oh, I
Winterfell.
love that. I love that awkward tension between the
was
two
that?
of them.
Well, you just
when
constantly-
she's training Pod,
And he just comes over and
yeah,
just starts doing this.
you lucky boy.
You lucky boy. That was quite entertaining. I thought
Giant woman.
it got more laughs out of me than I think any Game of Thrones episode has. And I thought, does it feel like because they're past the books now, they've kind of got creative freedom with it? Do you get the impression that they're starting to have fun now? Like, they don't really need to... They're not beholden to any previously written literature. So it's kind of up to them to dictate a tone, and they're almost getting self-referential and having little cheeky nods and winks to each other.
Like, I think the nods and winks go a bit far in this episode.
Yes.
We'll get to it. But again, I think it is all calm before the storm. I think we're going to see the roster have quite
a day
quite
off.
a dent in it, let's be honest, by the end of this series. I think we're going to lose a few people.
As always, don't get too attached to
Anyone. No.
I
think
suggested building a giant wheel in the office and just spinning it before each episode to say
Who's
who do you
going
think's
to
going to die in
die?
this episode.
Yeah, we should do, at the end of this, we should do predictions of someone, like, we all pick someone who might die next episode, and if any of us are right.
Should we do that now while we're on the subject?
Yeah, that's a good.
Who would you like to nominate as will die in episode 2?
Well, there's a person who you've heard me protest about. If they kill him off, I may stop watching, but I've got a horrible feeling
You're
it
going
could
to be
happen.
hopeless on these if that happens.
Yes. Pod. I love Pod. He's one of my favourite characters, and I can't really explain why. But he's one of those peripheral characters, as you said.
He can't die. His knob is too big.
You suggested a novel way of him being murdered,
Did I?
hanging him by his own penis.
As much as I would love to take the credit for that,
That
bellow
was
laugh,
you.
That was
wasn't
my.
me.
I said by his accomplished penis.
It's accomplished penis. Oh.
I'm nominating Ed Sheeran. I think he's going to go and
Please.
go bad.
I don't know. I think that was it. I think that's all we're going to see of him.
I think she's sticking with. I think she's going to kill them all.
I genuinely now I very much advocated for seeing Ed Sheeran's head on a pike because porn's hard to come by these days. But the thing that troubles me is if she kills him, what does that then mean Arya can do?
What do you mean?
Well, if she kills him, what does that then give her the power to do?
Oh no! If Ed Sheeran is in the rest of the season, just as Arya cosplaying as Ed
Imagine
Sheeran.
Cersei is just like she stands over the bodies of Jaime Lannister and Tyrion and Daenerys, and then from behind she just behind her standing
Ed Sheeran, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm here to play you a song, milady.
There's a
He's
castle on the
enchanted
hill.
all the dragons with his guitar.
This is a new one. Duh.
Let's talk about
No,
that.
I haven't done my prediction for a death yet.
yet.
It's gonna. I don't think it'll be yet, but I think it's Littlefinger. He appears to be, to me, the biggest character, the biggest name, the most influential person in the show, who could easily be killed off without it being this entire plot point of its own.
Yeah. It's a good
I
shout.
would like to see Sansa personally marry him and then kill him on their wedding night. I would love to see that, because then she's had 3 husbands who've all died. And this time, though, it was her
She's the
doing.
Black Widow.
That's the Black Widow. Dyes her hair, as all gingers I know do.
Something you pointed out
Maybe
to me, that her
Yes.
hair-wise...
Oh, yeah.
She is rocking the exact same hairstyle, like the exact same one as Cersei in season 3.
And she says, I learned a lot from Cersei.
Yes,
Yeah.
the comparison. Somebody did a side-by-side thing of her saying that, and I think Cersei even has a similar line in season 3 of like, "Oh, I learned a lot." I think it's talking about her mother or something. I learned a lot from her, and it's delivered the exact. It's so. It's unsubtle now that we've spotted it, but at the time, that's brilliant foreshadowing.
And that's the thing, like, a lot of the success of this episode for me is that you've got an idea of where all the characters are going, which gives it, obviously, it builds dread, builds tension, but also is prime kind of stuff to swerve with, because, like, Sansa may become Cersei. That's her big thing.
Jon may become Ned.
What does Littlefinger want? Jamie is clearly a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that Cersei's gone mental.
Yes, and is
Quite a homecoming
going to get married.
We'll build a legacy just for us then. We're the only ones who matter.
It's not what a legacy is, Cersei, you idiot.
We'll build a world just for you and me. Oh.
That'll have been what set him off, realising she'd absolutely lost it. Going, that's not what a legacy is. She's gone mad.
Another Mad King.
And
who knows how better to deal with Mad Kings than Jaime
I did this
Lannister?
in my theories video, like the
Theories?
The comparison between her and the Mad King now is just it's so blatant.
She's burnt them all.
She's burnt them all, yes, and it would just be such a satisfying end to Cersei's story to see her die at the hand of the man who killed the Mad King.
Yeah.
That'd
Stab
be
her in
good.
the back.
That'd be good. Stab her in the. Oh, he couldn't, could he? Could he
love a
stab
bit
her in the
of- they
back?
love a bit
He
of that,
loves
don't
her.
they?
He loves her.
I can imagine him stabbing her in the back, and then she pulls the sword out and turns to look him in the eye before she dies.
You dick.
You
Not again.
dick.
Predictable. Yeah, I'll be up for that. Let's get back to Ed Sheeran though, because it was such a bad cameo.
Bad call.
Can
this.
I
Bad call.
just want to stress that it's got nothing to do with my opinion. I think everybody who's complained about this cameo, it's got nothing to do with the fact that we just don't like Ed Sheeran, which I criticised it on Twitter. Oh, just because you don't like Ed Sheeran. And I don't like Ed Sheeran. I think he's dross.
He's
but
a perfectly serviceable, boring musician.
You want to do a cameo in a TV show, you can do it. It doesn't matter. It's just supposed to be a cameo. But this was so lingering, and he was the focal point of a scene he wasn't really involved in, and it was just so gratuitous and badly done.
It wouldn't matter if he'd just be just like, he played his song and it'd
Yeah.
be like, that's a great song. He says, right, I'll go and chop some firewood.
Yeah.
But the fact that he sat next to Aya every single shot,
yeah.
and like his face is doing like, he's doing his best. I'm doing nothing with my face.
It was terrible. Although somebody did point out that he's so scruffy, it didn't even require any alteration to his look to make him fit in with the yes, there we go. Oh God! I said it felt like comic relief. You know when they get like, oh, there'll be a Game of Thrones scene in comic relief, and it's just they can only get one cast member, the only one who's got any association with the BBC. Oh, I think she's in Doctor Who. You like Doctor Who? You'd know that she's in Doctor Who. So it's just her walking down a road, nothing to do with any story. Could have been filmed anywhere. The costumes don't quite look right, and there's Ed Sheeran playing guitar in the forest, and they make loads of jokes about how she should kill him. Blah 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 blah. It really did feel like. What's that middle hour in comic relief where they just throw together all the stuff that seemed like a good idea in a meeting but didn't quite come out right?
I don't know.
Are you trying to do your best Ed Sheeran, not contributing?
I'm trying to distract as much from the scene by doing nothing like Ed Sheeran.
Oh, that's very arty of you. That's very good. You strike
Do
me
you
as
want a bit of rabbit? That was basically it.
Oh yeah, it's was it the kind? Our mother always taught me to be nice to strangers because then they might be nice to me. Boom!
I hope he dies bad, like real bad.
No, I don't. I hope that's it. I
don't think.
no.
I think.
I hope that's it.
So what was yours again? Your prediction?
Pod.
pod.
Littlefinger.
And
Ed Sheeran. Those could also be our Stag Do t-shirts eventually.
I definitely couldn't be
No,
bothered.
because you do podcasts. Because you do podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Also giant. Wow.
Also giant knob. Giant knob.
Big old dick.
And big
penis
penis as well. Big dick.
Big dick. Big dick. So the ending, I guess.
No, before we get there. Alliances.
Right.
Because everything's very fractured. And as we've seen in every conflict in Game of Thrones, it's never 1v1, is it?
No.
It's always alliances of convenience, of marriage, of whatnot. And we kind of got the building blocks with that, with Euron offering the Iron Fleet in exchange for a book, which I thought was quite noble of him. His new Russell Brand shtick is very
brilliant.
good. Pirates of the Caribbean style. I liked him. I thought he was really entertaining.
He's got a bit of Jai Courtney mixed with Jack Sparrow.
That's the one. So he's going to go get Cersei a present.
Oh, I
Any
know what she wants the
predictions?
most in the world. She wants Tyrion's head.
No, I don't think that's what he's going to get
There's
her.
a very good theory I've heard.
I think. Have you read the books?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. Sorry, nerds. But in the books, he already has a little trinket called Dragon Binder, which binds a dragon to you if it hears its bellow. You control a dragon with it. I think he's going to get Cersei a dragon as a wedding present.
Oh,
How
son.
good would that be? That would be so good.
Oh, but she just went, don't like it.
Don't like dragons? I want a dog. It said on the invite, white goods only.
Said very specifically, season 4 of Sex in the City.
Yeah, so I think he's going to come back with a dragon for her.
Oh, that's excellent.
Wouldn't that be good?
That would be very, very good.
But Daenerys. And Littlefinger's even said this to her. We will need allies. Where are her allies? Is it as straightforward as it's Jon?
Well, there's one thing I've read online, which you might have seen as well, which was when she lands on the beach and hand in the sand and walking across that.
Oh, no, I didn't
past
see
a
this.
cave.
Oh, no, I
A
didn't.
cave, which, if you were spying closely, I wasn't, I just read this on the internet. A cave which may have also featured in Sam's book about dragonglass.
Oh, there's a mountain of dragonglass at Dragonstone, isn't there?
But that's what that could be. The
Already
cave that she
found
walked
it.
past is the cave of dragonglass.
It's going to be Jon, yeah. Jon
And-
has to go and get this dragonglass.
You know, Sam will. There was also mention of the dragonglass being able to have healing qualities. It
Yep.
could be used on Jorah, of course.
Oh, yes.
And then you help. Sam helps Jorah get better.
Get
Stop
better.
having dodgy, scaly hands. I also saw a great thing online, which was like, you may have missed Jorah's appearance in this. No, we all
No,
saw
nobody
it.
missed that.
He's
He was
the
in
guy with
profile.
grayscale.
That was
He was in
literally
profile, he
everywhere.
spoke. Yeah.
The day after the episode, the huge thing you missed, and I was like, ooh, I missed
Yeah.
things, and I find them interesting. I'll click this. And it was like, did you realise that was Jorah at the Citadel? I was like, yes, I did. Partially because of his voice, partially because you could see his face in profile, partially because he was asking about Cersei, partially because it was very obviously Jorah.
So they get the dragon glass and use it on Jorah, and then it's like, oh, how can we repay you? Well, I've got this mate called Jon Snow you might want to meet.
Hey.
It could be as simple as that. It could be also slightly.
Well, he
more
sent a
complicated.
raven. He's going to send a raven to Jon Snow. So I think Sam's going to stay where he is.
Yes.
There's no better place for him.
Flushing turds and
Hanging out with Jim
spuds.
Broadbent.
It's,
What
it's,
more do you want?
it's disappointing where his story arc's gone because he was a fascinating element when he was part of the Wall, I thought. But now he's just fluff, really. It's stagnated his whole role in the show. I mean, the main
He
criticism
was
I had of the
the
episode
Dorm
was...
bit of the show that I used to find in earlier seasons.
Yeah.
When they'd go to Dorm, I'd be like,
Well, I didn't hate it. I thought it was, seeing Jim Broadbent and then their role as the memory.
But
I
this,
think is brilliant.
this is the thing. You can't say a good thing about Sam's scenes without using the word Jim Broadbent, which basically makes them
That's
Jim
true.
Broadbent scene.
I mean, that's fair, isn't it?
Got a bit of droop.
I got a bit of droopage here.
Pod here can help you with that.
I think we're fine.
That's
I think we're fine. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Could it be possibly that, there's an alliance of... You've got this huge army full of fire-breathing things. I have to defeat some icy stuff. You have loads of dragonglass and you want to get rid of the Lannisters. It would work out very well for them if they both helped each other solve each other's problems.
Yeah.
what's next for Bran? because obviously in this episode he went from just outside to
God,
inside.
That poor girl
he's gonna ruin
dragged
everything.
him all the way to the wall.
He's gonna ruin everything because hasn't the Night King put his mark on him?
Oh, so we can see what he sees.
Yeah, and now, but there's also some other thing about
They can't get past the wall.
They can't get past the wall because of this. But if he goes past the wall, that effectively breaks the thing.
Could we talk about sort of some of the foreshadowing that's been in the first episode? Because there's a couple of theories, or not theories, but things that people said might happen, which I think are much more likely to happen considering we've seen the episode.
The vision Bran had of the Walkers.
Yep.
James Hunt again. Our boy, the absolute boy, pointed out that the march that they're walking on, there's grass. There is no grass north of the wall. Like they say loads of times, nothing can grow north, blah, blah, blah.
There's grass?
They're walking on grass, which means that could be a vision of the future, not of the present.
Very good.
South of the wall.
Oh, my God.
So that's some foreshadowing.
Well, everyone...
What have you got?
Jim Broadbent. Broadbent.
Easy for you to say.
Broady. Sam, a.k.a. Jim Broadbent, spent a lot of time talking about how, that wall, the wall they've got, that stood forever.
That stood for thousands of years.
That stood for ages. All those wars we've had? The war stood for all of them. That wall? That wall's fine, that is.
The wall?
That's going to stand, I reckon. I think the wall's coming down.
Yes, I would like to see that.
I think the wall is gonna, because there's a thing, isn't there, like a horn?
That's on the cover of the new book.
What is with my microphone, you bad podcaster?
Maybe you're just nervous.
Maybe I'm just nervous. Maybe it's cold in here. There we go. It's fine. It's drooping a bit, but my mouth can stay in front of it.
Fine.
It's good.
Best place for you, in my opinion. What have you got foreshadowing? Bring something to the round square table.
Well, we saw obviously the giants.
Yes.
Who were dead and have been
Oh,
brought
you're
back.
going to say what I think you're going to say?
Yes. Well,
yes.
So what's stopping other creatures becoming part of that team?
Bats?
No.
Oh my God, an army of bats.
Dragons.
Yes.
And Ozzy Osbourne's going to come in and kill them.
Oh, God, not a gratuitous musician cameo. They
with
would
his
dare.
Valerian teeth.
Valerian teeth.
Yes. Dragons. Because at the end of the day,
Oh, an ice
they can
dragon.
be killed.
An ice dragon.
An ice dragon. That would be incredible. Who was dismissing this yesterday? Said they couldn't.
I think it was my girlfriend.
Oh, yes. You say,
Yeah.
how are they going to get up there?
And I said, no,
there's
they don't have to
millions
get
of
up
ways. They
there.
don't have to get up there. They can have a baby dragon.
Yeah.
They can have a dead dragon.
Push an icicle into a little,
Is she going to watch
baby
this?
dragon.
You're going to make her watch this?
Maybe. Now she
Maybe.
said
You might as well just go like the full hog and just absolutely drag her.
Trash her opinions.
Trash her while we defend her.
They're talking a lot about Ned.
Oh, they couldn't.
They're talking a lot about him.
Couldn't. I know I advocated this again in that theories video, that it was a faceless man who actually died instead
Of Ned.
But that would be... Oh, no, because it's Sean Bean.
I think it would undercut the Game of Thrones' entire gimmick of anything can happen if it turned out that the first big death of Game of Thrones.
Because that would be Jon Snow dead and came back.
Yeah.
Ned Stark dead and came back. It would, it would lessen the peril, I think. Oh, I hope they don't die. They might have to be resurrected somehow or just not be dead at all later.
Yeah.
Whereas this is the one show that you genuinely do feel constant peril for every character you like.
Yep.
Because it's permanent.
I think it's a show that you just cannot separate from the fact that anyone can die, anyone, and it's brilliant. It's drama at its highest, and it may have been a slightly underwhelming episode in terms of that. I mean, you did see a house get killed, so
That was quite good.
You got that.
I like that.
You got that.
Yeah, the body count was still pretty high in this episode.
And you got to see the remains of a father and his daughter.
Oh, I did like that scene with the Hound. And
I mean,
The scene with the Hound.
brilliant.
The Hound was MVP for me.
that was another
complex.
thing you may have missed. Thing I saw online.
Yeah.
The Hound's been to that house before. Really?
Have you seen it? Yeah. I couldn't remember exactly where. I couldn't remember the episode or what happened, but it was so obvious that it wasn't subtle. Maybe they've got some ale hidden away. They don't.
They don't.
Because
I wonder who they are.
He literally asked them for some ale, and they said, "We don't have any."
And the bit where they were in the house and talking and saying, "Oh, that looks like the skeleton of a father and child," and he said, "Yeah, she must have died in his arms." how do you know it's a she? Because obviously he knows from being there.
Because when you assume, you make an ass of both you and the hound.
Why do
yeah,
you
looking
deserve
into
to
the
live?
flames and seeing the. Were they cutting? Was he just suggesting they were cutting round the wall, like going to the end of it and just going?
There's a castle on the edge of the wall, and they were marching through that. I guess. I'm not sure.
It'd be fascinating. Was the hound's line, which I won't say because I know nobody can be bothered to go through this and put bleeps in it, but you're not fooling. Who do you think you're fooling with that top knot? You bald.
Oh.
I've already sworn, by the way.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
No, you bald. That was. That was my favourite line I think they've ever done. It was so needless. He was being nice to him.
on the hound scale, it's not quite as good as now I want 2 chickens.
What's needle? My sword. You named your sword. Lots of people name their swords. Lots of c***s. Do you know I first saw that on a Star Wars meme and didn't realise it was from Game of Thrones? You named your lightsaber. Lots of people name their lightsabers. Yeah, lots of c***s. Do you want to get a c*** in since we have to bleep this anyway?
Oh, cunt, I guess.
Anyone?
I'll save it for in a minute.
Okay. Out of nowhere.
Just nestle it in the middle of something.
Who's editing this? Is it you?
No.
Oh, some poor cunt. Anything else we've missed? The Lannisters, the power struggle between Jon and Sansa, what's happening there? Littlefinger we've discussed, the Whites, Sam. I think that's pretty much it. Bran's going. I think that's
Bran was
pretty
very brief in that episode.
much it. Shall we get our...
Enjoyably brief.
Enjoyably brief.
Where's the red woman going to pop up?
Well, that's another thing you may have missed. In the trailer, she's standing on a cliff face. And by the looks of it, it's from what we've seen of Dragonstone, which, by the way, I thought was so beautifully rendered this time. We've never really seen it properly for all its inclusions in the show.
Oh, it's Great Hall. It's gorgeous.
It's absolutely beautiful. But she's very obviously standing there because it makes sense that's where she'd go after she was banished. She lived there for a while. It's deserted. She probably knows that people are going to go there who could use her services. So it makes sense that that's where she would appear. Yeah. So I think she's there. So they're going to meet her sooner rather than later.
Oh, I can't wait. That things like whatever you say about this episode, I just can't wait for the next one.
No. I mean, this is the first time I've actually watched it episodically.
Really?
Yes, because I was in the midst of watching it when the last season came out, which is an absolute chore working here to not have it ruined for me.
Of course.
And I've box setted it.
Nice.
All the other seasons and series. So genuinely, after this episode finished, even though it was 3 a.m, I was like, oh, should I do another one? Oh, I can't. No, that's it. But I've got to wait a week.
Try doing that, watching 11 episodes in a row, and then going, you have to wait another week.
It's horrible.
And I've just seen the red woman, naked, old, big old cunt.
There it is. Oh, it was big. That's quite good.
Bloody hell, guys.
Well, on that note, I think we've pretty much covered everything. We've got the predictions in for Death.
The Death, Ed Sheeran.
Like I said, just spin a bloody wheel. But Pod,
Littlefinger, and Ed Sheeran. Well,
please.
Well, we shall redress back here in but a week's time.
When will we 3 meet again?
When will we 3 meet again? How does the rest of that go?
In something, hail and snow or something. I don't know.
I think it's next week on the YouTube channel, isn't it? That's the.
When shall we 3 meet again?
Please subscribe.
Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Well, yes, on that note, you've been Adam. You've been, I forget, Adam. I've also been Adam. We should have really done the name something revolving around that, but Whatculture it is. And you've been watching Whatculture. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Bye.